Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We head to Summerfield for an episode of The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Peary, from 79 years ago, October 31st, 1943, the Halloween party. By the way, on many of these stations, tomorrow in our third hour of the show, we'll have the last version of The Great Gildersleeve that we have a copy of from 1956. And it also is kind of a Halloween program. But we thank you for joining us on this Halloween. This is the 31st day of October, 304th day of the year, 61 days remaining. And even though Friday was the celebration, happy birthday, Nevada. Nevada, admitted as the 36th state of the Union on this date in 1864. But, like a lot of holidays, state of Nevada not immune. They have named Nevada Day as the last Friday of October. Arthur Conan Doyle published The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes in 1892. The magician Harry Houdini died of gangrene and periodontitis that developed after his appendix ruptured on this date in 1926. Well, it was on this date in 1938 Orson Welles expressed deep regret about the panic following the War of the Worlds, but also bewilderment that anybody thought the show was real. In an effort to try to restore investor confidence, New York Stock Exchange on this date in 1938 unveiled a 15-point program aimed to upgrade protection for the investing public. Now, after 14 years of work, drilling completed on Mount Rushmore on this date in 1941. Photographer Ansel Adams took a picture of a moonrise over the town of Hernandez, New Mexico. It became one of the most famous images in the history of photography. That also was in 1941. On this date in 1956, Britain and France began bombing Egypt to force the reopening of the Suez Canal. In the Soviet Union in 1961, Joseph Stalin's body removed from Lenin's tomb. In 1963, the Indiana State Fair Coliseum explosion in Indianapolis killed 74 people during an ice skating show. The explosion injured 400. A faulty propane tank connection in a concession stand blamed for the explosion. While citing progress with the Paris peace talks, the original October surprise in 1968, as President Johnson announced due to the nation, he had ordered a complete cessation of all air, naval, and artillery bombardment of North Vietnam.
I have now ordered that all air, naval, and artillery bombardment of North Vietnam cease as of 8 a.m. Washington time, Friday morning. I have reached this decision on the basis of the developments in the Paris talks.
The Halloween peace announcement gave Democrat candidate Vice President Hubert Humphrey's campaign a badly needed boost, but not enough to beat Republican challenger Richard Nixon. In 1984, Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi assassinated by Sikh security guards.
I have heard directly from very high Indian official sources that Mrs. Gandhi has been shot 8 times in the abdomen, that she was shot by 3 security guards of her own. All 3 are reported to be Sikhs.
I think it's a great tragedy, and it's just an example of the terrorism that is operating throughout the world. We had a good relationship. She was a hard worker for democracy and the head of the largest democratic state in the world. And I think that she was dedicated to the welfare of her people.
President Reagan on the 1984 assassination of Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Riots soon broke out in New Delhi. Nearly 2,000 innocent Sikhs were killed. 19-year-old British au pair Louise Woodward, convicted by a Cambridge, Massachusetts jury of second-degree murder the day before on this date in 1997, sentenced on this date to life in prison.
Members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as recorded by the court on indictment number 97-433-001, Commonwealth v. Louise Woodward. Is the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Guilty of what?
Guilty of murder in the second degree.
Members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as recorded by the court. The jurors on their oath do say that the defendant is guilty of second-degree murder. So say you, Madam Foreperson?
Yes.
So say you all, members of the jury.
Yes.
You may be seated.
Now, on appeal, the charge was reduced to involuntary manslaughter. Woodward's sentence reduced to time served, just under a year. In 1998, Iraq's disarmament crisis began. Iraq announced it would no longer cooperate with UN's weapons inspectors in 1998. 2002, a federal grand jury in Houston formally indicted former Enron Corporation chief financial officer Andrew Fastow on 78 counts of wire fraud, money laundering, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice related to the collapse of Enron. Passing away on this date in history, the fine actor, producer, screenwriter John Houseman, Italian director, screenwriter Federico Fellini, actor River Phoenix, also the fine journalist Ring Lardner Jr., historian Studs Terkel, and Sean Connery. This is the birth date of poet John Keats, the fine singer Ethel Waters, also Dale Evans, the wife of Roy Rogers, Barbara Bell Geddes, fine actor, probably remember best for Dallas, astronaut Michael Collins, who passed away last year at the age of 90, actor Michael Landon, actor David Ogden Stiers, football player Brian Piccolo, and John Candy. From Peyton Place, Lee Grant, 96 years old today. Dan Rather is 91. Singer Tom Paxton, 85. Bill Murray's older brother, comedian actor Brian Doyle Murray, 76. From Days of Our Lives, Dr. Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall is 75. News anchor Jane Pauley, 72. Actor Rob Schneider, 59. The rapper Vanilla Ice, Robert Matthew Van Winkle, 55. From Covert Affairs, Piper Perabo is 46. From the Harold and Kumar movies, Eddie K. Thomas, 42. Actress Vanessa Morano is 30. From Walking Dead and CSI New York, Sidney Park, 25. And Will Smith's daughter Willow is 22. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the last day of October as their birthday. And if this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
From 79 years ago, October 31st, 1943, Harold Peary, the Great Gildersleeve, and the Jolly Boys Halloween Party. That's next here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you can get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare. And that's MediShare. You get both. The typical family saves $500 a month switching to MediShare. And that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. It's because MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you could save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. If you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number you need. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Well, I guess I call this the Jolly Boys Party, and really that's the one that you'll hear tomorrow in our third hour. because there were more the Jolly Boys then, though there were less of them because of being 1956. So at this point in time, I don't think that the Jolly Boys had been founded. Harold Peary, the great Gildersleeve, 79 years ago, October 31st, 1943, a Halloween party.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. Cheese Company will also bring you the Kraft Music Hall every Thursday night. Present each week at this time Harold Peary as the Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. Now let's see what goes on at the home of the great Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. It's Saturday evening, the day before Halloween, and his niece is giving a dance. All afternoon, he's been rolling up carpets, putting extra leaves on the dining room table, carrying out furniture, and carrying it in again. But now that the heavy work is done, he finds himself brushed aside. After an early makeshift supper, he wanders forlornly out to the kitchen to watch last-minute preparations there.
Oh, what are you making there, Bertie? Frosting?
Yes, sir.
Say, that looks mighty good. You mind if I just...
Uncle Mort. Mr. Gildersleeve, a man can lose a finger that way.
It's wonderful, though, Bertie. Say, don't you think you've beaten that about enough?
Ain't sure if it's stiff enough.
Oh, well, I'll just see.
Uncle Mort, really?
Just tasting it, my dear.
Mr. Gildersleeve, if you keep tasting, there ain't gonna be frosting enough to put in your eye.
Who wants it in his eye? You'd like to put a little on a piece of bread now.
Uncle Mort, go out and play.
Let's go out.
Bertie, don't you think it's about time we took another peek at that cake?
Cake? I'll do it.
Stay away from that oven. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve, but you want that cake to fall?
I was just trying to help.
Run along, Uncle Mort. I'll look at the cake, Bertie.
You either.
What?
If some of the people don't get out of this kitchen, I'm going to go clean out of my mind.
Well, Bertie, I was just
well,
going
you
to...
more trouble than all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Want me to fix a party? You got to give me a chance. I ain't no Superman. No, sir. All I got's 2 hands. Painter come in here tracking dirt.
Come on, Marjorie. I think Bertie wants to be alone. Let's go in the other room. After you.
Oh, Leroy, for heaven's sake.
I am Frankenstein the Wolfman. I eat up little girls.
Let go!
I walked with a zombie. The undying monster.
Leroy.
The living dead.
Stop that and take off that mask.
It's only me, Unc. Did I scare you?
Yes. I don't know how you expect to scare anybody. You've been going around in that rig scaring people for a week.
Oh, I'm just practicing being horrible.
You don't need any practice.
Now, Uncle Mort, you make him promise to keep away from my party. I just know he's going to... Oh, that's probably for me.
Don't worry, glamour puss. I wouldn't be caught dead at your party.
Hello? Is that you?
No, it's me.
Oh, I couldn't tonight, Lester. No, I'm sorry. No, I couldn't possibly.
Why don't you tell him you're giving a party and he's not invited?
Shut up, Leroy.
Let her alone, Leroy.
Pardon the interruption. Brad again. Go on, tell me all about it.
I don't know what kind of a Halloween party this is anyway. No games, no pumpkins.
What did you used to do on Halloween, Unc?
Oh, we did a lot of things, my boy. Made jack-o'-lanterns, bobbed for apples.
Pretty corny. What else?
Well, we had one little trick.
Yeah? What was it?
Well, we used to take 2 buckets of water.
Yeah?
And when it got dark, we'd put them on each side of somebody's front walk. And we tie them together with a piece of cord across the walk. And then when somebody came along, well, you can imagine.
Hey, that's great.
It was a very thoughtless, wicked thing to do, Leroy. I hope you will never do anything like that.
Are you kidding?
I mean it. Somebody might trip and hurt themselves badly. Remember that.
Yes, sir.
There's one other thing to remember.
What's that?
Only fill the buckets halfway. It won't work if they're full.
Oh, my goodness. Go to the door, somebody. I'm on the phone.
Well, get off it.
I'll go.
Oh, I've got to hang up now. Goodbye, Lester.
Yeah, so much for Lester.
It's Wally Hoff.
Wally Hoff.
Well, the kid himself. Hiya, Junior. What are you supposed to be?
Frankenstein.
Oh, blow me down.
Talk to Wally, will you, Uncle Mort? I'll be right down, Wally. I've got to run up and put on some lipstick.
What for? It's coming right off. Take these records with you, son, and don't drop them. Got a couple of real oldies there. Red nickels.
Gosh.
Mr. Hoff, my name is Gildersleeve. I'm Marjorie's uncle.
Oh, hi. Heard a lot about you.
I've heard a lot about you, too.
Favorable, I trust. Anybody tune this so-called piano lately?
Young man, that's a Wembley.
Not bad.
Hey, Wally, I can play a boogie bass now like you showed me. Look.
Hey, that's not it. Look out.
I didn't do it right. Let me just...
Look out. Let me at it. Like music, Mr. Gildersleeve?
I like music, yes. Mr. Hoff, would you mind telling me something?
Not at all. Shoot.
That sweatshirt you're wearing, is that customary these days? At dances, I mean?
What else?
In my day, we wore tuxedos. And we didn't wrestle. We danced.
Oh, your day, your day. Your day is over, Uncle Mort.
Yes, I guess it is.
Well, don't stop, Wally. Give out.
What'll it be, gorgeous?
Oh, anything at all, only give. The party's dying and it hasn't even started. Uncle Mort, I don't want to be rushing you, but the gang will be here any minute.
I can take a hint.
We'll take Leroy with you. Why don't you see if Mrs. Ransom's doing anything tonight?
Maybe I will, and maybe I won't.
Oh, that's it. Play that.
On with the dance. Let joy be unrefined.
Oh, brother, even in my... Come on, Frankenstein. This is no place for us.
Gosh, it's dark out, isn't it?
Wally Hoff.
He's a swell piano player, Unc.
You stick to Bach.
That sounds like Piggy. Hey, Pig, wait up! That's his signal. See you later, Unc.
Wait a minute.
Yeah?
I won't ask you to keep out of mischief, Leroy. Just keep out of jail.
Okay. Where are you going, Mrs. Ransom?
Never mind. Run along.
Hey, Pig, wait for Frankenstein.
Nobody's going to tell me what I'm going to do. If I want to call on Leila, I will. And if I don't, I won't. Just hope she's in, that's all.
Who's there?
Boo!
Throckmorton, you mustn't do that.
Yeah, but it's Halloween, Leila.
No, it's not. Tomorrow's Halloween.
I know, but they're celebrating it tonight. What are you doing, Leila?
Well, I had this date for tonight, but at the last minute I was unable to go on account of a headache.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes.
Well, perhaps some other time.
Oh, I feel much better now.
Oh, you do?
Uh-huh. Isn't that lucky?
Will you go to the movies with me?
Well, I don't know about tonight, Throckmorton. I'm just scared to death of ghosts and witches and all.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be with you.
Promise you'll stay close to me and protect me?
I'd like to see the ghost that could get between us.
There'll be a slight wait inside for all seats.
Oh, he says they'll be waiting, Throckmorton.
How many, please?
How long will we have to wait, miss?
The next complete showing will begin at 9:53. How many, please?
9:53. That's half an hour, Leila. Do you want to wait?
Oh, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, make up your mind.
Oh.
Stepping to one side, please. Keeping the line moving, please.
Shutting the mouth, please.
Throckmorton.
Well, they can't push me around. Evidently, our patronage is not wanted here, Leila. Let's go somewhere else.
I declare, Throckmorton, I've never seen Summerfield so crowded.
Why don't these people stay home nights? Well, I suppose we could at least drop in here and get a soda. Would you like a soda?
I don't know. Would you?
Oh, I don't know. Would you?
Oh, look, a little boy in a mask.
Well, that's more like it. That's the first real sign of Halloween.
Oh, well, what's that thing he's swinging around?
Oh, that's a sock filled with flour. Oh, we used to have more fun with those.
Oh, he isn't going to hit somebody with it.
What do you think it's for?
Hello, little boy.
Hello there, Sonny. What's your name? Cat got your tongue, huh? You're not Piggy Banks, are you?
You're not going to hit anybody with that, are you, little boy?
Yes, careful now. Careful how you swing that. I'll tell you what, if you go away, I'll give you a nickel. Listen, if you hit anybody... Look out now. If you're Piggy Banks, I'll tell your mother. Did you hear what I said? If you come near me with that, I'll... Come back here, you! I dare you!
Let me brush you off, Throckmorton.
I think you might show a little more consideration, Leila.
Oh, but you look so funny, darling. Come on, let's go in and get a soda.
Well, hello, Mrs. Ransom.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Peavy.
And Mr. Gildersleeve. Well, has it been snowing out?
No, it hasn't been snowing. The lady here would like a soda.
Well, aren't you going to have anything, Throckmorton?
I got something.
Oh, well, if you're not going to have anything, I'm not going to have anything.
All right. Soda for me, too. Chocolate.
Chocolate it shall be.
How have you been, Mr. Peavy?
Oh, just fine, Mrs. Ransom, just fine. You two been out doing the town?
Well, if you could call it that. Halloween isn't what it used to be, Peavy.
No, Mr. Gildersleeve, it isn't. And maybe it's just as well.
Why?
Well, I remember one Halloween. Why, Harry, it's a lucky thing we didn't all land in jail.
Well, what did you do, Mr. Peavy?
Well, you know how boys are, Mrs. Ransom. I remember it was a dark night like this one. It was out at old Mr. Thatcher's house, crabby old fellow. Maybe you remember the house, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Well, we'd planned this thing for weeks, and it was dark, as I say, so we appointed one boy as a lookout, and then we hid in the bushes till the coast was clear.
Oh, yeah? Go on.
Then when we got the signal, we sneaked across the lawn.
Yeah?
We tiptoed up the front steps.
Uh-huh.
And crawled on our hands and knees across the porch.
Yeah?
And stuck a pin in his doorbell.
Peavy, you didn't.
Yes, sir, and I want to tell you, I got out of there just fast as my legs would carry me.
Peavy, I wouldn't have believed it if you hadn't told me yourself.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Mr. Gildersleeve. I didn't actually stick the pin in the bell myself.
Oh?
I stayed behind in the bushes. But if they ever found out that pin came out of my lapel...
It came out of my...
Oh, that Peavy was a wild one. From Sunday, October 31st, 1943, The Great Gildersleeve. On this Monday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station. An episode of The Great Gildersleeve starring Harold Peary as it was originally broadcast on Sunday, October 31st, 1943. In the newspapers of that Sunday 79 years ago, these were some of the headlines. Taking a look at the latest war news, Red armies all but blocked German corridors as the Second Battle of Crimea began, Soviets taking Azina Nova, only 22 miles from Perekop, key to Perekop Peninsula, while another column spread toward Genesek, commanding northeastern entrance to Crimea, threatening to trap thousands of Nazis. In Italy, the Allied 5th and British 8th Armies registering gains after sharp fighting, British with the 5th Army occupying Mondragon on the western anchor of the Nazi line, U.S. troops taking another strategic area, with the British 8th Army advancing in the sharpest fighting in Italy. Break in the overcast permitting U.S. fortresses to resume aerial war with shattering daylight raid on Genoa. Lightning escorted big bombers which spread destruction across docks, war industries, and railroads. Berlin propagandists showing nervousness over Russian-U.S. conferences in Moscow, asserting by radio that the date of the Western invasion has been given to Russia, asserting Russian demands all met. Moscow hopes for success of the conference soaring. And Yugoslav partisan radio delivering guerrilla-crossed Hungarian border in bitter fighting with the Nazis. Partisans also say Italian patriots joining in the fight on Germans in Trieste area. 24 persons injured, one seriously in the rear-end collision of two elevated trains last night at 3rd Avenue and 183rd Street at the Bronx. 9 persons given first aid at the scene, 15 others taken to hospital. Thousands of moviegoers and shoppers jammed the main shopping district Baltimore last night. Traffic tied up for 2 hours while firemen battled a 6-alarm blaze, which gutted a 10-cent store and damaged several adjoining shops. Flames shot through the roof of the 3-story S&W Grand 10-cent store on West Lexington in the heart of the downtown shopping district. They were under control, but a thick pall of smoke by 9 p.m. hanging over the area. Federal authorities took steps last night to conserve the nation's dwindling coal supply in anticipation of the 4th General Coal Mine work stoppage of 1943, which will apparently start at midnight Sunday. Solid Fuels Administrator Harold Ickes banned anthracite deliveries to any domestic customer with more than 10 days' supplies on hand and limited retail sales to half a ton. The House Ways and Means Committee yesterday cut in half a proposed $4 per gallon boost in the federal liquor taxes, but voted to stiffen several other levies, including those on cigars and pari-mutuel betting, to pick up a net of $49 million more from excise tax sources. And in North Carolina, the Charlotte Observer newspaper announced last night it was offering to receive contributions to a fund to reimburse an Army sergeant who reported that his fiancée married another man and went away with $700 he had sent her with which to help establish their home. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Sunday, October 31st, 1943. On your radio, The Great Gildersleeve, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Throckmorton, you know what I think?
Know what?
I think we ought to have a Halloween party, an old-fashioned one where you bob for apples and stick pins and things.
But it's too late, Leila.
Oh, no, it's not. Tomorrow's Halloween, really. We could have it at your house.
But, Leila.
Oh, don't be an old killjoy. Now, who we have? Oh, you come, won't you, Mr. Peavy?
Well, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to, Mrs. Ransom. You see, Mrs. Peavy gets a little nervous around Halloween, so I usually stick pretty close to home till it blows over.
Oh, too bad. Well, there's Judge Hooker. We'll have to have the judge.
Yeah, for laughs.
Now, who else?
Well, we ought to have another girl.
Oh, do you think we need to?
For the judge. You know, the old goat likes to think he's Sir Walter Raleigh.
Oh, well, who can we get? I don't seem to know many women somehow.
Oh? Well, there's a Miss, Goodwin, I think her name is.
Goodwin? I don't seem to recall.
I only know her slightly.
Oh, well, how does it happen I've never heard you mention her before?
Well, I say, I know her. I've met her, that's all. She's the principal of the school.
Oh, a school teacher.
Yeah, school teacher.
Well, that sounds perfect for the judge.
Yeah. Oh, you know her, don't you, Peavy?
Oh, yes. She's perfect for the judge.
Yes, perfect for the judge.
She can't be that perfect.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I'd say that she was...
Thanks for the sodas, Peavy. Gotta be running along.
Oh, but Throckmorton, I've hardly finished.
Gotta get going before the crowd gets out of the movies.
Oh, gracious, how you rush it, girl.
Oh, forgot to pay. Peavy, did anybody ever tell you you talk too much?
Why, no,
Well, consider yourself told. Good night, Peavy.
The Great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds.
From 79 years ago, October 31st, 1943, The Great Gildersleeve on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll start off the new month of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on Tuesday with an episode of Father Knows Best starring Robert Young from 71 years ago, November 1st, 1951, The Tie. A tie has appeared at the Anderson household. Nobody knows who sent it. We'll figure it out. That's coming up on Tuesday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But now, the conclusion of our Monday show, The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Peary from 79 years ago, October 31st, 1943.
Halloween is here at last, and the Great Gildersleeve is ready for it, come what may. Leroy has carved a pumpkin, and Bertie has prepared some refreshments.
Don't they teach you any poetry in school these days, Leroy?
Oh, sure. I woke up in the morning and looked upon the wall. There was a flea and a bedbug having a game of ball.
Leroy, you didn't learn that poem in school.
Oh, I did too. Piggy taught it to me during geography.
Yes. By George, I'm going to ask your teacher to change your seat. I can see Piggy's a bad influence on you.
I doubt if Leroy's doing Piggy any good either.
Oh, is that so? Who asked you to put in your 2 cents?
Well, you're certainly just as bad as Piggy.
I suppose his sister has been shooting off her big mouth.
Leroy?
She has not.
Well, I could tell a few things about you and her and Wally Hoff.
For instance.
Quiet! I'm expecting guests here any minute. Do you think I want them to walk into this kind of a cat and dog fight?
Well, he started it.
Stop it, or I'll finish it. I'll not have this kind of goings-on. Leroy, where are you going?
Out on the porch.
What for?
Oh, to light the jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, well, that's all right then. It's a very good idea. Make a cheery welcome for my guests. What are your plans, Marjorie? Would you like to stay here and enjoy a little old-fashioned Halloween fun for a change?
Oh, gee, do I have to?
Certainly not, my dear. What were you thinking of doing this evening?
Wally and I were going down to Brownie's Beanery for a while. Some of the gang's going to be there.
Well, I certainly dislike that boy.
Oh, he grows on you, Uncle Mort.
Why, George, you won't get a chance to grow on me. Hi-ho. Well, I'll have a real Halloween anyway. I'll see how Leroy's coming with the jack-o'-lantern. Real Halloween air. Gosh, dark as a pants pocket out here. Where is that kid? Leroy!
Hi, Unc.
I didn't see you, Leroy. Confound it, how many times have I told you it's not funny to scare people?
I wasn't trying to scare you. You called me and I answered.
Well, all right, but be careful. Why haven't you lit the jack-o'-lantern?
The wind keeps blowing out the matches.
Nonsense. There's no wind at all tonight.
It comes in puffs.
Well, give me those matches and I'll show you how a woodsman lights a fire.
Where's the woodsman?
Just watch me.
Okay. Say, isn't this Judge Hooker coming?
Where? I don't see anybody. Oh, well, it may be at that. Hello, Judge.
Hi, Gildy.
Yeah, trust him to get here first.
Hi, Judge.
Hello, Leroy. Well, Throckmorton, happy Halloween. Am I the first one? Oh,
it works!
Leroy here.
Confounded Gildersleeve, what's the idea?
It wasn't my idea, Judge, but anyway, happy Halloween. Just stand here by the fire, Judge, and you'll be dry in no time.
Doggone that kid.
Now, Judge, boys will be boys.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you put him up to it.
Why, Horace.
You laughed.
Well, I couldn't help it. I'm always laughing. Now, cheer up, Judge.
Well, maybe that's my girl.
Your girl?
Miss Goodwin.
What makes you think she's your girl?
All right, I'm easy to please. I'll take Leila.
Oh, no, you won't. Leila's my girl, you old goat.
Rather be a goat than a hog.
Well, hello, Leila.
Hello, Throckmorton.
Come in. We were just talking about you.
I knew it. I could feel my ears burning.
Yeah, they're still pink at that. Let me take your coat.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my, the house looks lovely. I think Halloween decorations are so exciting, don't you?
I certainly do.
Oh, good evening, Horace.
Good evening, Leila.
What a wonderful idea, coming in your old clothes. I just love old clothes parties.
This is my new suit, Leila. Or it was when I left home.
Well, what happened?
Gildersleeve's little nephew played a Halloween prank that soaked me to the skin.
Oh, how awful. That doesn't sound like Leroy Throckmorton.
It's my idea of Leroy.
Oh, mercy, the judge might have caught pneumonia.
Oh, don't worry about me, Leila. I'm a pretty tough old rooster.
Oh, well, let's forget all about it and have a nice Halloween. Where's your lady friend, Horace?
Miss Goodwin? Oh, she's not my lady friend. Not according to...
Now, Horace, can't you take a joke?
Seems to me I'm being asked to take a good many this evening.
That must be Miss Goodwin now, Judge. Why don't you go and let her in?
Well, thank you.
What did Horace mean about her not being his lady friend, Throckmorton?
Oh, nothing. Just his peculiar sense of humor.
Good evening, Miss Goodwin.
Good evening, Judge Hooker. So nice to see you again.
Permit me to take your rap.
Throckmorton?
Yes, Leila?
I thought you said she was a school teacher.
She is, Leila.
Well, she dresses like the school teachers in Esquire.
Now, Leila.
Here we are. Mrs. Ransom, may I present Miss Goodwin?
How do you do?
It's so nice to meet you. Good evening, Throckmorton.
Well.
Hello, Eve.
Well. Why didn't you tell me Miss Goodwin and you were such old friends, Throckmorton?
Well,
Since he's been on the school board, we've seen a good deal of each other, Mrs. Ransom.
I see.
Well. Nothing so much fun as a Halloween party, is there? Or is there?
It's all right.
You don't have the right technique for apple bobbing, Judge.
Oh.
You have to follow the apple right down to the bottom and get your teeth in it.
Oh, I could never do that. I'd ruin my hair.
I wouldn't mind. Let me try it.
Well.
Yes, I'll show you, Eve. Stand back, everybody.
Wait a minute, Gildy, wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, you will now witness a death-defying exhibition by Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, diving into 1 foot of water from the stupendous height of 6 inches.
Oh, Horace, you're simply a scream. I declare I think you're funnier than Bob Hope.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that.
Yeah, neither would I. Look, I'll show you now how to get the apple.
How you doing, Gildy?
Mercy, Throckmorton, come up for air. You'll drown.
Don't worry about him, Mrs. Ransom. He has wonderful breath control.
Well.
Hooray! Gildersleeve, you look exactly like a roast pig.
I know what we ought to do now. Let's tell ghost stories.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea, Eve. I know a real thriller.
Ghost stories never scare me.
Well, it'll scare you if we turn out the lights. Turn off the lights, will you, Judge?
All right.
There.
I'm still not a bit scared.
You will be. Once there was an old haunted house way out on the edge of a swamp. There was a ghost in the house who was trying to find his murdered wife. And he used to go through the house every night at midnight saying, ooh.
Ooh, I'm frightened already.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous myself.
Oh, pooh.
Well, one night, some hunters were passing near the house when it got real dark. And not knowing the reputation of the place, they decided to spend the night there. So they went up to the door, and just then...
Oh, Throckmorton, this is silly.
I think it's fun.
I know a game that's lots more fun in the dark than telling ghost stories.
Oh? Well, what is it, Leila?
Sardines.
I never heard of it.
Never heard of sardines?
No.
Oh, well, the way you play it, one person hides in the dark, and then all the others try to find him. Or her. And when you find the person, you don't say anything. You just stand as close to him as you possibly can till all the others find you. That's sardines.
Oh, well, I can see it's got possibilities.
Yeah, let's try it. Miss Goodwin, why don't you be the first to hide?
Why, Horace, I suggested the game.
Well, you can hide next.
Yeah, very fair, Judge. Go ahead and hide, Eve, while I count 50.
Well, I don't know any places, but... Oh, all right.
All right. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. All right, Eve, here we come. Who left that chair there?
Oh, doggone it!
The judge is having a little trouble, too, I can see. What's this?
Now, Throckmorton.
Who is it?
You ought to know.
Yeah. What am I supposed to do now?
Stand close to me.
Can't stand any closer, can I?
What's going on here, anyhow?
Hey, no fair turning on the lights.
Throckmorton Gildersleeve.
Now, Leila.
Well, if I'd known there were this kind of people in the game, I never would have suggested it.
Mrs. Ransom.
Don't you try to shush me.
I wonder if you'd mind taking me home, Judge.
But, Eve, the party's just begun.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's all over.
Now, wait a minute. Leila, please. Eve, please. Leila. Oh, who invented Halloween anyway? don't understand.
I understand very well, Throckmorton. Take me home, please.
But they've all gone, Leila. I want to explain.
There's nothing to explain. I turn the lights on and I find you pawing that school teacher.
Leila, if you could just listen.
Let go of my arm, please, Throckmorton. Will you open the door for me?
Oh, gosh.
Thank you. Now, do you want me to walk home by myself?
I'll take you if you're really determined. Leila.
School teacher. She must be a fine school teacher.
Well, she is.
Oh, that's right. Stick up for her.
I'm not sticking up for her. She didn't do anything. I thought she was you.
Throckmorton, that's a ridiculous bare-faced fib. She's wearing Chanel No. 5, and I always use Shalimar.
Well, Leila, I don't know one perfume from another. To me, they both smell good.
I don't care to hear any more, Throckmorton. Oh, look out!
Oh, my goodness.
Good night, Throckmorton.
You can't leave me here in this. Wait till I get my hands on Leroy.
Don't blame Leroy, Gildy. Happy Halloween.
Music heard on this program was under the direction of Claude Sweeten. This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to be with us again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Gildy gets himself in the biggest messes, doesn't he? October 31st, 1943, 79 years ago today, Harold Peary is the Great Gildersleeve. Thank this station, support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. If you miss a day, you don't have to miss a show. All of our shows are available on demand at classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream. You can stream our shows on demand, including maybe you missed yesterday's presentation of the War of the Worlds. You can hear that right now at classicradio.stream. You can also find a list of places on the internet where you can download our podcasts. You can also find a spot where we have our social media links. You can contact me. You can also buy me a coffee if you want. The Buy Me a Coffee money goes to us to acquire more great classic radio shows. And you can also find our social media links. That's at classicradio.stream. classicradio.stream. Have yourself a great day. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.